Alright, so just a quick update on the Wusik Station 10 coding. As you can see, I have totally changed the interface. This is not just a new skin, it's a new code that I created. And it's no longer using the anti-crash code, so it's running in a different way with a new code. And so far, this is just the master layer options working. So everything here works as it should. Let me play some things. Let me turn the volume a bit down. This is just playing several audio generators at the same time. So it's the noise generator, 3 oscillators, this sample player, draw wave oscillator, just for me to test things out. So everything's working. What I improved on this code is the resample of the images. So when I resize it, before it was, when it was very small, it was just going to make a mess of the images and you couldn't make anything. You just look at it ugly. So I improved that. Took me 3 days just for that, I know. But at least now it's working very well. The screwing of the interface also is working correctly. You can see that I added some shadows when you start scrolling at the top and bottom. And the screw bar is on the right in here. It's still missing the button to open the tree view. What I'm going to add is going to be right here. A button to open the tree view, to browse presets and samples. I finished the amp envelope, the multi-line envelope, so the filter envelope is working too. So if I add a filter in here, let me see if I can make it work. So now it's working, and everything here is working. The voices, I have put the options in here now. Auto glide, legato, retrigger, and still same note is going to be on this menu because it's not something you always mess around with. So it doesn't have to take space in the interface. I'm trying to make the interface less cluttered. The modulation envelopes are going to have an option here to select which modulation is that. So let's see, I have 4 envelopes like for pitch, panning, and other modulation options. You have to use these guys here. The filter envelopes are already in there. So I was always going to have a filter envelope. And you're also going to have multiple filters. I just haven't added the code here to show the multiple filters. And the tooltips are showing on this bar here. When you put the mouse over, it shows right away what's that button for. And when you move the button, it shows the value for the button. So let's see, on the volume it shows the decibels, on the padding shows the left and right, centering, and it's stuff like that. Here on the time, it should show in seconds. And I have put the option here for padding on the top, so it's easier to find. And everything else is working already. Just now I have to start doing the generators, like the sample player and things like that. And the resizing of the text is much better now. Before it would look very bad when you resize, you downsize the interface, especially on low resolution monitors. And this is 1080p right now. So it looks very clean and sharp, and it goes nearly 4K. You just resize it. And the objects like the envelope uses a different method for drawing, so it's always going to look sharp in any resolution. It's just the text and buttons and knobs that use images, so I had to create a better code for resampling. So okay, this is the current state. It may not look a lot, but it was a lot of work. I worked several days non-stop. I only took the 4 days out to visit some parents, relatives of my wife. And I'm back to working on this non-stop again, so I can finish it as soon as possible. And the whole code for the interface is new. And of course, I'm reusing some of the code in some areas, but mostly it's a new code. And the whole code for Wusik Station 10 is also going to be self-contained, so I'm not going to be sharing with other projects like before, because before that it was Wusik 4000, then it would share the code for Wusik 8000, then it would share the code for Wusik 8008, Eve, and Wusik Station, and that creates a lot of problems because the code gets a lot very fragmented, so it's not easy to manage anymore. So for Wusik Station 10, I make it a code only for this, and instead of reusing, I can just copy and stuff that I want, but not have the same project file base for multiple products. It's a bit of a work, but it's good because now I'm not using the old anti-crash protection. I'm using a native code for the plugin, so the interface here is the plugin interface itself. It's not being projected from another process. So it's very snappy and very easy to use. Everything works, model wheel works, double click center, right click opens the new menu, which doesn't need to click on close. Because before, as you know, on Wusik Station current version 9 code, you have a close for the menu because that menu is being opened by another process. So it's a bit of a hack I have to do for the anti-crash code to talk from the external process and so on. But here instead, I'm using a new code, not just for the engine, but not just for the interface, but for the engine too. And that's going to help things out. That's why it's taking a bit longer. But it's going to look and work much better. So I hope you guys appreciate that. And if anyone wants to donate to my other projects, like my free projects that right now are no longer free because people weren't donating or giving me any feedback at all. So, but if you want to help me out and maybe get the free projects out as free again, you can check the donation options on each of the product pages. The buy me a coffee option is in there. You can also become a Patreon to help me out, because those 2 years since the pandemic was really a mess for me and everybody else, let's face it. So I hope I can get some extra support via Patreon and buy me a coffee, so I can keep things afloat. Okay, that's it. So thanks for watching.